Where is Bobi Wine? He's the former pop star who was running against President Mu7 in the Ugandan election. Museveni's been in power since 1986, so he was up against it, and according to the official count at least, Museveni was winning by a landslide in this election. Wine has consistently claimed that there's been mass fraud.
Breaking news chitokota hasi chisanikire wetuwugirira saawa zineno nkugamba European Parliament kuti wansina wagulu news analysts wamu ne reporters ab'enjawulo okwetulula TVs ez'enjawulo bonna bavuddeyo abasaidize ne His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi bagambye kama mbaya ni mbaya, we are ready to fight for him, he is the one who won the Ugandan election. Video eno nkugamba empanvu mukojiwa obudde naye nga tetunagendeyo, so kujimpereka like pomaze subscribing wegati ku mukutu gwaffe guno. Haji Haruna musomi wa dua agamba gowe nangule yene bizibu nambire osembe 20 so mukubirako nabira nga akuyamba hane bizibu sokolize omuzungu alina byayisizaawo biri very important ono yomu hakuwa news analyst abakyasinze mu nsi yonna
throughout this entire election and indeed others. According to Wine's party, after the vote, an army helicopter flew into Wine's compound and forcibly took him away to an unknown destination. The National Police spokesperson denies that, says that Wine is still at home and is free to move around. They say he's not under house arrest. We can't confirm either version of events at this point, but there have been reports of violence and clashes throughout the campaign, some even turning deadly. And the United Nations says there has been widespread repression and intimidation of voters during this campaign.
Omu ku representatives ba America havuddeyo nkugambye asaidize ne His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi. Video eno nkulu nnyo eri mu luzungu, njagala giwulirize yonna watategedde hambuza mu comment section ngenda kugiddamu mu Luganda, soko owulirize.
2026, the so-called Ugandan elections occurred on January the 15th, 2026. If you go to the website of the so-called Election Commission, which is ec.or.ug, you will see that almost 2 months later, the results of the so-called election has not yet been posted. We're going into March almost, right? They cannot even come up with credible lies, you know? You know, in the world, you have lies, and then you have credible lies. Credible lies, what are credible lies? Credible lies are lies that are almost convincing. So the Election Commission, under Injustice Simon Bakama, is unable to come up with a credible lie. And that's why the so-called results, which is an attempt by military dictator General Yoweri Museveni and deputy military dictator imbecile Muhoozi Kainerugaba, their continuing attempt to steal the election from Robert Kyagulanyi, aka Bobi Wine, is coming into some roadblocks. Think about it. They know that they will not be able to post results from all of the polling stations in Uganda. They can't. So they cannot even validate the steal. You see? You go to the website. Anybody watching me, and I have to give credit to Dr. Nico, who, of course, is a renowned activist on behalf of NUP member in the Netherlands. He pointed this out on his tweet, I believe it was yesterday or the day before. So this is a challenge to the BBC, which already coronated election thief Museveni as the so-called winner of the election. So BBC, Don't you think this is an issue of interest? Should you not ask in...
Alright, gwe tulukalire ng'ogambe Dr. Nico n'abalala abasazeewo okubeera nga baswaminga European Parliament olunaku olwaliro bo bali ready okubeera nga bafiira ku His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi bagamba ye mazima naye nga tetunagendayo nyongera okujjukiza Haji Haruna awalinnyo okulomberedwa gwe nangoli n'ebizibu sooka muwulize tumale tweyongereyo ne bya Dr. Nico.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yenze Haji Haruna omusomi w'edduwa asangibwe Bulumagi ku luguudo lw'Ejjinja nkola ku bintu ebyenjawulo ng'emuli endwadde zitawaanya abantu ababulijjo nkola ku abo bonna abalina ebizibu mu mukwano. Bw'oba olina ebizibu mu mukwano jangu gyendi neeyonera nsobole okumalira ensonga. Nkola ku mikisa egy'emirimu nkola ku abo abaagala okugenda ebweru omuntu ng'okozesebwa amajiini okozesebwa saitwani ebyo byonna mbikolako osobola okukozesa ennamba z'olaba ku screen oba okuweereza obubaka ku WhatsApp.
Our power. Yes, like to our audience which does not understand Uganda, I was trying to say that we are here at the ICC to demonstrate, of course, among other things is the indictment of Mu7 and General Muhoozi for the crimes they have committed to Ugandans and to, especially Ugandans. I'll not go into other people's countries. My concern is Uganda because that is my country. So we have handed in about 2 petitions already and we are still compiling. There's one we are working on and I think in the near future we shall be handing it in. So, ours is to put pressure on the ICC and to see that they act against the injustices being carried out onto Ugandans by the government, especially the president and his son. And we shall not stop. We shall hand in as many as we can. Actually, last month, I think a month or so, we were here with people of Venezuela and they were also demonstrating, but before we knew, well, Maduro had been arrested. You never know. Ours is not going to be like Maduro's because, well, it is a different situation. But we are also putting pressure. We shall see indictments. We shall see all sorts of action being taken as we wait. We are not going to stop. We shall keep pressing and pressing until we achieve what we want.
Alright, ebyo nga tubitadde ku mabbali njagala osooka owulirize His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi bano abasajja nga tebannakukyaza awali oba nga tebannakutwala mu European Parliament batandika okugyayo videos enkadde bageze ku comparinga n'omuntu gw'oli olunaku olwaleero ebyaddala basobodde okubeera nga badda mu archives ne bagyayo videos za His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi bageze okubeera nga bazikomparinga balabe oba yakyuka naye balabye musajja ebyaddala takyukangako era yali ku mazima mpaka ne kati akyali ku mazima video yino soko gyerabireko ongambe byaddala His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi, is he the right president of Uganda? Yes or no?
Today is because I am optimistic. I don't look at the problems, I look at the solutions. I am well aware that the parliament, the majority of the members of parliament belong to the ruling party, but I believe they also want a better Uganda. I believe that they want a peaceful transition. I believe that they have children and will have grandchildren in Uganda. What I present to them is not division but unity. What I present to them is not negative but positive. What I present them is an idea that is going to bind us together, an idea that is going to be the healing of our nation. So yes, there are many in parliament, but their opinions were not cast in stone. I believe that we can also influence them to think positively. But still, I also want to make it clear that I am not putting all my hope only in the parliament. My rise is to inspire as many people as possible to stand up, and especially the young people, and get involved in the politics of our country. That way, even the voting mass will be increased. I mean, many of our young men and women are discouraged from the politics of our country. If we get maybe another 500 Bobi wines, then that fear will be crushed.
Another 500 Bobi wines. I like